straight into this video, and it is all about my 5 favourite pieces of camping equipment. This is equipment that I've used over the years and it suits me for my particular type of camping. Now the 5 types of equipment that I'm going to cover will of course be tents, rucksacks, cookers, sleeping pads and head torches. So look, first category I'm going to go through would be rucksacks. And my third favourite rucksack of all time would be my Osprey Oregon 70. And the real feature of it was just that it was really capable of carrying heavy loads for a long period of time. And I would have carried loads up to 16 kilograms, and it was just insanely comfortable to actually do that. But as I got older, I needed to sort of reduce my weight. And when I went and I weighed my Osprey pack, my particular one was actually nearly 3 kilograms. And that was just insane. I mean, I practically replaced it on that very day. And I bought a Granite Gear Blaze 60. So the Blaze 60 would be my second favourite rucksack of all time. And it was a really, really good pack. But you know what? £280 here in the UK, and that's just really, really expensive. And it just, while it was incredibly well made, it was supposed to be almost as comfortable for carrying heavy loads as the Osprey Ether, and it just wasn't, and that was where I was disappointed. Now regarding stoves, the only purpose that I have for a stove is actually boiling water quickly. I don't actually cook or prepare food whenever I come camping. And the other priority is, not as well as boiling water quickly, is obviously really lightweight and compact. So in third place in my stove category would be the Sotto Windmaster. This is it doesn't do anything particularly incredibly well, but it does most things really, really good. You know, it's in and around 80 grams. It can cope, you know, with wind, and it's relatively compact, you know, as well. So the Sotto Windmaster would be in third place. In second place would be the Polaris, the Fire Maple Polaris pressure regulated stove. Now the Sotto also has a pressure regulator on it, which helps the gas sort of burn more efficiently or burn easier at low temperatures and low pressures. But the Fire Maple Polaris pressure regulated stove, you know, it was just a bit more compact than the Sotto. And I have this here's a 500ml titanium pot. I have a 750 and in the 750ml I can get my gas and the stove and everything all into this, whereas with the Sotto Windmaster I just couldn't do that. And I actually did a test comparing the two, and I sort of, you know, the video is actually on my channel, and look, all my videos that are all the links to most of the bits of equipment here. I've done reviews on them all, so all the links will actually be in the description. Okay, next up, sleeping pads. In third position with my sleeping pads would be the Thermarest Neo Air Uberlight. If you're looking for something that is lightweight and compacts down small, I mean, this is phenomenal. I mean, it's 300 grams for the regular wide, and the pack size, you know, is, you know, it's about the size of that, which is my 500ml pot. It's amazing, and in those two categories it's absolutely fantastic. But I had a couple of issues with it. It's not incredibly comfortable. I mean, the comfort is okay, you would kind of put up with it. I also had durability issues with mine, but to be fair to Thermarest, you know, they replaced it, but still I kind of lost a little bit of confidence in it. And it was just incredibly noisy and squeaky, and I'm quite familiar with Thermarest mattresses, and I've never had an issue with that before. I've always accepted it, but the Uberlight was just another level, you know, regarding that. Alright, so second up on my sleeping pads would be the Nemo Tensor Insulated. This is a lovely pad. It's very, very well made, and it does everything very, very well, but there's just no category, you know, I'm going to say category like, you know, comfort, weight, pack size, warmth. There's just no category that it performs incredibly well in. It's just a great all-rounder. So next up, head torches. And in third position with my head torches would be this LED Lenser Neo 5R. So yeah, sorry, in case I said that too quickly, the LED Lenser Neo 5R. This is a great little torch, and it's fantastic. I mean, I do use it in the winter as a backup torch. and I use it in the summer as my main torch. It's like 300 lumen on high power. It'll run like that for 4 hours. It has a boost of up to 600 lumen for like 10 seconds. And it's just super comfortable, really, really well made. With the lamp unit and battery being kind of separate, it just means that it's designed as a trail running headlamp, but it just means you wouldn't even know it's on your head. And it's really, really comfortable. And also the beam pattern, there's a great spread between spot and flood beam. So the second position will go to the H7R core. It does a whole lot of things really, really, really well. It's 600 lumen. I think it's about 259 grams. It can boost up to 1,000 lumen. It'll run for 4 hours. And the key feature the two key features is that you have a focusable beam, so you can control how much floodlight you want and how much tighter spot you want, and you're in complete control of that. It's not designated by a design of the light. And also there's a dimmer switch on it, and the dimmer switch allows you to control the output. So again, you're in complete control. You're not stuck with any of the settings. So a good strong second place to the H7R core in respect of my headlamps. Now to the big one, tents. Third place, and I'm going to go third equal on this. My North Face, my old North Face Mountain 25 and my North Face Westwind. The North Face Mountain 25 is one of the strongest tents I've ever had. It was incredibly well made and insane amount of features, like 12 pockets in it, lovely drum tight inner, two-tone colour, looked great. Just everything about it was absolutely quality and expedition. But as I said earlier, when I got older, I just wasn't able to carry it, 4.5 kilograms, and I just started to struggle. So I looked for something a bit different, and then I started using the North Face Westwind. Now the North Face Westwind was 2.7 kilograms, so it was probably about 60% of the weight, but when it was put up, it probably had about 80% of the strength. So I think hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. So it was, nearly 2 kilograms lighter, but also very, very strong, and it was strong enough for me. So it was a really brilliant tent, and it served me very, very well. So my number 2 choice of tents would be my Hilleberg Act 2. This little tent has just survived many, many, many of my tent sales. I've had Hilleberg Solos, I've had Act 2s, I've looked at Hilleberg Unas, I've had Hilleberg Namaches, and the only tent that I have kept over the period of time has been my Hilleberg Act 2. It's just a great little tent. It has enough room for me once you adapt to the size of it, and I kind of look on it as a bivvy tent, and then when I get into it, it's bigger than expected. And it's just really, really strong. It's pretty lightweight at 1.7 kilograms. It can handle pretty much any weather that I would throw at it, or that Luke's Mountain here would throw at it. And it's durable. And I've looked at a couple of other options, and I've tried a couple of other options, but for me, they just sacrifice durability when you go to lighter fabrics, and I don't want to do that. So I'm quite prepared for the trade-offs of the Act 2, and it's a super tent. And I don't know that I will ever sell mine. Alright, on to the winners in each category. Head torches, okay. The best head torch I've ever used is a LED Lenser H19R Signature. This light excels. It is extremely powerful, 1800 lumens for 3.5 hours, or 4000 lumens on boost. So the power is absolutely insane from it. Again, you've got really good spot beam and a really good flood beam, and you can run them both at the same time, or you can run them either or, which is brilliant. Again, 7-year warranty, really, really well made, and it works through an app on your phone. And I never thought that I would use that, but to be able to control the lights individually and put it at 60% power, or 50% power, or 62% power, I actually have used that and will always use that. And also it gives you your battery percentage remaining on your phone. So instead of there just being like a battery indication light where you have 4 lights and each of them represents, like, say, a 20 or 25% drop in power, you can look on your phone and you can see, yeah, it's got 58% battery left, or 89% battery left. So the features of that light, the power of the light, the build quality, it is relatively heavy, but any light with that power and those sort of run times, you're going to pay a little bit of a penalty in weight. But I found last winter, I just used it all the time because, I like gadgets and I really enjoyed using it, and it never let me down. The winner of the stoves is this, and it's the Mighty BRS. This stove is exceptional in a number of categories. I think it's about £15 on Amazon, UK sterling, so it is exceptionally cheap. It is incredibly compact. In fact, I would say exceptionally compact. I mean, there's the size of it in my hand. I mean, it is tiny. And it weighs like 25 grams. So I love this stove, and as I said, it's just an exceptional little stove in so many different ways. Performance-wise, if you get it out in the wind, the burner's not recessed in any way, so yeah, it is going to struggle a bit. But it's not designed for that. It will boil water very, very quickly in a sheltered environment, which is 90% of the time that I use it. So an easy category winner for me in stoves. My friend Gary introduced me to this, and between the two of us, well, it's maybe him more than me, we call it the Mighty BRS. And this is the stove of choice that I have, tonight. And it's a great system. And even as a backup stove, I mean, you just can't go wrong with this. £17, 25 grams, and that's all the size of it. And it's really pretty powerful. Sleeping pads. The winner for me easily in the sleeping pad category is a Big Agnes Repeat SL. This is the regular wide. And you know what? It's about 700 grams in weight, so it's about 100 grams more heavy than the Nemo Tensor insulated. But this thing is insanely comfortable. I mean, I've been looking for something like this, and the baffling system on it and the support is just incredible. Now, the dimensions of this, don't anyone dare ask me in the comments what size this pad is, because I've had that before when I've actually said it in the video. So I'll say it again, it is the regular wide version, and it's 25 by 72, and it's just incredibly comfortable. I mean, when you lie down in this and you move your body up and down, there's just no bounce in it. The baffles just support you really, really well. The pack size is pretty okay. As I said, the weight 700 grams is all right. I'm prepared to sort of to do that for the comfort and the build quality, and also the valve system here. Watch the wind doesn't catch this and blow it away. The valve here, you have a twin valve, and it just means that you can inflate and deflate very, very easily and quickly. And it's good thick material, and it feels very, very durable. And it doesn't leak out any air overnight. I mean, it's a brilliant sleeping pad, and easily a winner for me. And it's exactly what I was looking for, because comfort was high up on my priority list. Okay, so here is the winner in my rucksack category. This is the 3FUL Kedan Pro. It's under £100 UK sterling. It's really, really cheap and incredibly good value for money. It's really well featured. The mesh pocket, here in the front is quite big and open, and I can get a full tent into that if need be, which is fantastic. The side pockets, pretty good. In fact, pretty good, they're very good. That's a 1 litre water bottle in there, no problem. Not sure if you would get two of them in there, but there's still plenty of space, down the sides. Pockets on the hip belt, really good sized pockets, and the hip belt comes quite well around your hips, so the pockets are then well forwards and easily accessible, and they are a great size. And they're also really well padded. I've just found this pack to be really comfortable. Now, it's 880 grams, so it's saving me so much weight on some of my other packs, even on my Granite Gear Blaze 60. Now, it's not, you can put a foam pad in here to give it stability, but I only do single overnighters. And for anything, I would say up to 12 kilograms on a single overnight, this thing is insanely comfortable and supportive. And I don't need to place anything else in there to make it more rigid. It doesn't actually make any difference to me. So a really good pad. It's a roll top closure at the top. You can see that. And it's just simple, effective, well made, durable, and incredibly lightweight and super value. So an easy winner for me pack wise. Right, and now the big one, tents. You've probably guessed it. I know this is relatively new, and I know and admit that I change my mind quite a lot, but my needs and wants for a tent and all of my equipment does change over time. So this is the Hilleberg Yanu. It is 3 kilograms, and it is an insanely good tent for one person and for the type of camping that I use. So I've used this in heavy snow, and you've maybe seen the video, and it handled the snow loads incredibly well. I know, because my friend has one, how well it handles the wind. And whenever I took this tent out, and I took my Hilleberg, not this tent, but Gary, my friend, came out in his Yanu, and I came out in mine to match. It really wasn't until the two tents were side by side that I just realised how this particular tent ticked more boxes for me than what the Match did. It's not as big as the Match, and it's not, for two people sitting in a tent, or even lying down in a tent, I'm not going to say it's tight, but it's definitely not the volume of my Hilleberg Match. And my Hilleberg Match would have been my favourite until this one. There was no comparison. When you're sitting in the Match in a 40 mile-an-hour wind, you would have guessed the wind to be at least 50 and not more because of the flapping of the tent. When you're in the actual Yanu in a 40 mile-an-hour wind, you would have thought outside it was a 20 mile-an-hour wind because it's just so stable and the wind just bounces off it because it's much more aerodynamic. So that's just pretty much wrapping up the video. Some of you might have noticed that there's certain categories I maybe haven't covered. Sleeping bags would be one of those. And do you know what? I just haven't replaced my sleeping bag equipment or my sleeping bags in the recent years. So I'm not going to sit and talk about older products that are not sort of relevant now. But I will be replacing my sleeping bags, so look out for that. I mean, that'll definitely, I kind of was hoping to do it last year, but it didn't, so I'll be doing it this year. So look out for some reviews, then, and see what choice I will make, sleeping bags. So apart from that, look, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and until next time.
Every time you say goodbye, every time you say goodnight, I wanna steal you away forever.